Hello, welcome to Worship Tutorials. My name is Brian, and every time I do a video with this guitar in it, I get a lot of questions from a lot of you. Actually, not really a lot of questions, mostly just one question, and that is, what is that guitar? So today, this is another in our FAQ series here at Worship Tutorials. I'm going to tell you about this guitar. It's a Reverend Avenger. That's what this guitar is. From the early, I think this is from the year 2000. This isn't going to be like a demo and a review of this guitar. I may do that in the future because they're really cool and they're not very common. They're pretty rare these days. But I'm just going to tell you about Reverend and about this Avenger. So Reverend is a guitar company started, I think, in the early 90s, early to mid 90s, by a guy named Joe Naylor, who built amps. He's an engineer. And he had this crazy idea to make a guitar that looked like this. And they were originally made in the USA, made in the Detroit, Michigan area. This one's from East Point, Michigan. They had a couple factories. But from like the mid-90s through the mid-2000s, they made, every Reverend that they made looked kind of like this. Now, the thing that's unique about this guitar is it's mostly plastic, which sounds like, that would probably sound terrible, but it's actually pretty awesome. The neck is a traditional sort of construction neck, and where it gets different is the body. So these things look very unique, and part of the reason is this white sort of inner section of the body, but really what this is a plastic ring. This thing is only a little bit in thickness. It's just a ring that goes around, and there's a wood block that goes down the middle, which is what the neck and the bridge are mounted to, and then the top and the back is like a formica. Like a formica countertop. That's what this is made out of. So it feels unique. It's almost, it's fully hollow under here except for that wood piece. But it really makes a very unique instrument. And I keep doing this because this thing barely weighs, it's under 6 pounds. It weighs between 5 and 6 pounds. It is by far the lightest guitar I've ever held in my life. And it's almost weird how light it is. And it's very resonant acoustic. So I'm going to strum it. I don't know how well that comes out, but it's almost like a full semi-hollow electric guitar is what it sounds like. It's really loud, which I really like that. It really vibrates against your body. You can really feel it when you play it. It's just a really fun, unique instrument to play, and you don't see many of them around. So yeah, this is the Reverend Avenger from it's the US-made Reverend. Now, they made pretty much all these old Reverends are the same setup, this body, and then this sort of pick guard, but then they would do different pickup combinations. So the Avenger is the Strat setup. So this sounds like a Strat. Actually, it sounds a little different than like a Fender. But they made, 2 humbuckers. They made them with P90s. They made them with 3 P90s. They made them with Filtertron type pickups. They made all different kind of pickup combinations, and you can look up Reverend. I think they call them the phenolic era, PHENOLIC, phenolic era. But it's basically, this is all plastic except for this wood thing in the middle. So I will play it a little bit just so you can hear it. But it's kind of a Fender Strat kind of a thing. So neck pickup sounds like this. Sounds good. Middle pickup sounds like this. So you can hear a little bit more bite come in just because of where the pickup is. It's closer to the bridge. And then the bridge sounds like this. So I'm just running straight into the Agape Tribute 18-watt head, which sounds fantastic. And I'm running this to a 112 cabinet, and that's mic'd with an SM57. And then it's also running through a Mesa cab clone, and I blend those signals. I kind of like to do that. The cab clone has a nice bright top end, and then that 57 has a nice meaty mid-range, and they sound good together. I've got it set so, it'll break up if you play big chords. But the cool thing about a Strat is I showed you position 1, 3, and 5, which is the neck, the middle, and the bridge pickup by itself. Now the Strat has in-between positions where you can get the neck and the middle, and then the neck and the bridge. And if you're not familiar with that, they call that like the quack kind of a sound. It's unique to a Strat, or really any kind of 3 pickup guitar with a 5-way switch probably does that. But let me demonstrate. So this is neck. This is neck and middle. So it kind of has a quack sound to it. It's really cool. I really like it, and you really don't get it in anything but a Strat type guitar. Here's the bridge. And then bridge and middle. Very good, very cool sound. The bridge and middle position on this guitar is a fantastic sound. I think it's the best position on this particular guitar. But a little bit more about these old Reverends. Like I said, they made about 5,000 of them total, the old USA Reverends. And you can get them now on the used market. You can find them here and there. They usually run around $800 to $1,200 or more dollars, depending on you know, what pickup combinations, what shape they're in. When they used 3 different factories, I think, if I've done my research right, Reverend used 3 different factories when they were making these. The second factory that they moved into was in East Point, Michigan. And the East Point variations of this guitar are the most sought after. Because of the necks on them. They made the same neck that they put on every one of these, I believe. The same sort of profile, I should say. And it is one of the most comfortable necks I've ever played. This thing feels awesome. I don't know what the finish on the back of it is. It's not satin. I don't know if it's like a polyurethane or if it's a nitrocellulose, but it's like a soft, it's not glossy, sticky. It just feels really, really good. I don't know how else to describe it, but to say it's one of the best necks I've ever played in my life on a guitar. And I think that when it comes to a feel of a guitar, the neck is the most important because that's what your hand is on. It's what you interact with most when you play a guitar. So that's just my 2 cents. If you're looking for a guitar, find one that you love the neck on. And this one I really do. The fingerboard is nice and rolled. This is a 15-year-old guitar. Now, as far as I know, it's all original. I'm not the original owner. But the frets are in great shape. When it came to me, a lot of times what you'll see is this plastic will start to yellow on the sides, and this one doesn't really have any of that. It's in really, really good condition. The only blemish I can see on this is there's a tiny little, you know, like a ding. Maybe they dropped something on the neck, and there's a tiny little ding right here. You probably will never see it in this video, but you don't really feel it at all when you play either. After they stopped making these bodies and these guitars in the United States. They outsourced to Korea, to South Korea. So now the Reverends that you can find, and I really, really recommend that you look into their guitars. They're great. I think as far as production guitars go, they're the best value guitar you can buy. They're not the cheapest by any means. A current production Reverend and will run you somewhere between like $600-700 and $1,200, depending on what model you get. But they're all sourced in Korea. And they have what's a function that is called a bass contour knob. And actually, I'm going to show you one because I actually have another Reverend. So this is an example of a import current production Reverend guitar. This is the Charger, which Charger is just the body style. They do make some current production Reverends that are in this body style. I forget what they call that one. They have a couple, but this is their Charger body style. It's kind of like a Fat Telecaster meets Les Paul kind of thing. I really like it. I think it's got a cool look to it. All current production Reverends have their own locking tuners, which are really nice. They are all made out of Carina, the body and the neck. This one has a maple fingerboard, but Carina body. And this is the Charger 290, which just means there's two P90s in it. And this is the limited edition, which means it's a sort of a limited edition color, and it has a Bigsby on it. So I'm going to demonstrate. I told you that they have this function called the bass contour knob. This is the bass contour. So the Avenger that I have is just straight volume tone, 5-way pickup. This is a 3-way pickup selector, so it works just like a Telecaster would. Volume and tone. And let's see, let's go middle pickup position, just play you. And this bass contour is like, it rolls the bass out of the pickups. It's almost like a reverse tone knob, if you think of it that way. So here is with the bass contour all the way up, so you're hearing the full range of the pickup. So you can hear it's really beefy and meaty. If you pull that back about halfway, it thins out the pickup, but in a good way. It starts to sound more like a single coil. This is all the way out. You can really tell what it's doing on the bridge. So here's all the way up on the bridge. If you pull it all the way out, it kind of gets like a Telecaster Strat kind of bridge sound. Very cool, very functional. Let me turn some gain up so you can really hear what I'm talking about. So all the way up on the bridge. And then out. So yeah, this is the Charger 290 by Reverend, but it is just very indicative of their current import production line. Awesome guitars. I highly recommend them. All of the bolt-on neck series guitars that they make have a satin finished neck, which just feels great. So what else can I say about this guitar? It really does get a lot of attention. Everywhere I've played this, I've had people comment on it. And usually the comment is very positive, like, that thing is really cool, what the heck is that? Especially from guitar players. Most of the Reverends, not all of the very early ones didn't, but most of the USA Reverends have this this sort of arm rest guard that would be kind of reminiscent of what you might see, I don't know, on a banjo. Do they have those? I'm not sure. But other stringed instruments have these guards. Now, I've seen people try and put these things on other guitar styles that just don't work, but Joe Naylor, who designs these guitars, he has a great eye for design, in my opinion, and functionality. This thing just, there's something about it that just looks cool. I've heard it said a lot that there aren't that many guitar designs that have come out since the 50s that really are timeless in the way that they look. You can think of, like, what did you have in the 50s? You had like the Strat, the Telecaster, the Les Paul, the Jaguar, the Jazzmaster. Those had all come out. Most guitars that you find these days are variations of those kinds of things. And the guitars that have come out unique since then that really have stood the test of time would be like the PRS double cut design, which is obviously a very cool guitar. But this is kind of a double cut offset. You could kind of think of it as like a Strat meets a Jazzmaster kind of a look, and it just really works, especially with this pickguard design. It's kind of retro, but vintage looking all at the same time. Like, it looks like a guitar from the future from the 50s. If you know, like, if in the 50s they made a guitar that looked like it was from the future, I think this is what it would look like. But anyway, I highly recommend that you check out Reverend, and that is the black Reverend guitar that you see in some of these videos. The Reverend Avenger, from back when they made them in the United States. If you want one, check eBay, check reverb.com. There's Reverend has a chat room, kind of a message board kind of a thing. And they have a classified section, so you can often find them pop up there, use the old Reverends. But yeah, there's a few of them on sale now that I kind of found looking around. That's the Reverend. Thank you so much for watching. See you next time. Bye.